what have been the biggest benefits that you have seen from farming? Let's just start with one example. Dan, biggest benefit that you have seen from farming?
I think the biggest benefit is it eventually does what, John mentioned and what you said. It drives business to you, and you start to get listing calls because someone saw you sold to the neighbors or help, a buyer get into a place. So I think it eventually it creates a fairly predictable stream of business from one area that you can kind of count on. And then, you have to, like Virginia said, you gotta continue to market those stats and market that market share once you've earned it, but you can kind of put a box around it and then go off into other areas and expand. So it gives you like a base to build off of and create other parts of your business.
So you emailed me a stat, and I'm trying to pull it up right now, Dan. Farming helped me gain over 50% market share in one building and sell over 22 million in my first year of business. So I think like that it speaks for itself, right? So if anybody is questioning, should I do this? Should I not? I think the biggest thing is number one, what it says behind Dan's head on that poster: execution. Stop talking, put in the work, number one. And stay consistent in that farm. Just keep going. You got to keep hitting it, very hard, with all different things. So we're going to move over to John. John, what's been the biggest benefit? Can you give one example of like a compounding effect that has happened from farming with you?
So for me, it's just name recognition and market share. So we do a lot of on the boots events. There's something here that Dan knows. It's called Clarendon Day. And so when we put up a booth here, which is a really big local event, people seek us out because they've seen our name, they've seen our signs, they come to talk. But the other thing that we do through our marketing is that we're talking to them about things other than real estate. We send out things about the best restaurants in Arlington to try if there's something new. We try to be more than just a real estate agent. We try to be the go-to source for all things Arlington. So whether it's restaurants, it's shops, it could be luxury home builders, it could be a variety of different things, best biking and running trails, 5Ks, things of that nature. We try to drive people to us as a point of being the authority on communities in which we work, because that builds business in itself. If you try to keep the conversation always to real estate, so many people will get something and they pitch it. If you give them something like, the Redskin, well, we don't call them the Redskins anymore, the Commanders football schedule, they like that too. It's Virginia Tech, it's all the universities and stuff that we have around here. So you're trying to be top of mind for more than just real estate. I get calls for, can you tell me the best contractor? I'm trying to build a pool. Who would you recommend? You become the go-to source for everything beyond just real estate. It helps build that market share as well.
John, at this point in your career, how long have you been doing this?
20 some odd years.
20 some odd years. Okay. How many years did it take you to build your farm? I mean, we're still always building, but how many years did it take you to the point where you could go like this?
I don't know if I'm ever going to be like that. So
good answer.
I go to bed every night worried about, is there going to be another deal? And I think that's a safe place to be when you're a real estate agent. No matter how successful you are, is you're not guaranteed business. You've got to go out and create it. You've got to stay top of mind. You've got to work really hard every day. To the sign behind Dan's head, to what Virginia is saying, out of sight, out of mind. If you stop communicating, people forget about you. And I think that's the one thing. It's like any major brand, Coca-Cola, they're out there all the time. They're in a variety of different places. They are a company that I think has probably got one of the best worldwide brands, but it's a case to where, again, out of sight, out of mind. And I do small things. I'm out walking my dogs all the time. I enjoy people. I see people with a license plate. We got a rush of Texans moving into our region now. So I am known for waving at people and having them put their window down and saying, hey, did you just move here from Texas? What brought you here? I accost people at Whole Foods. I accost people at Mom's Organic or Giant. I like to talk to people. I've always got my card ready and being able to hand it out. And those are things that kind of help you build. I've got a magazine that we do as well. You're participating in it coming up. That is a lifestyle driver. It is a conversation that we have all the time with people in our local area nationally. I get a lot of business coming out of that nationally. You know, we work really hard on referrals. So all of that kind of feeds into how we farm, because we farm both locally and we farm nationally. And we farm nationally through our relationships with our partner agents from Seattle to Los Angeles to New York to Boston to Rhode Island and all places in between.
Great. All right. Well done. Great answer. Thank you so much. Virginia, what's been the biggest benefit of your farm? Can you give one example of a compounding effect, right? Like you met, like, let's say you went out, you're door knocking, you met a developer. I don't know. Do you have any stories like that and how it branched off into success?
So for me, starting to specialize in a neighborhood where I was selling vacant land with a developer, I started focusing, taking all my budgeted funds that I used in marketing and just focused in on that when I started seeing that all the other, the majority of my business was becoming from sales in that neighborhood. And what happens with you is you become known, like John said, the expert in that area. I built relationships with builders where I was able to bring business to them. I started making other connections with other developers and learning more, which is what drives me. Is I love learning an area and specializing, so I know how far the hospitals are, what the demographics are. I start to just dissect it and absorb all that information. It's really difficult for another realtor to duplicate that. So when someone's talking to you about that neighborhood, you're like an encyclopedia, which in the end, that's really what you should be, is a source of information, vendors, who services that community, where's the nearest hospital, what are the best schools, all that information, we have it on file. When someone comes in and we take a listing, we already know all the different questions that the buyers have with those particular types of properties, because every neighborhood is different, right? This is a 2.5 acre average lot. The houses are over $1 million. They have septic and wells. So we know vendors for all that, elevators, who the builders were, all that information goes into your bucket of tools. And then the consumer, when they talk to you, they're like, well, why would I bother? Someone else would have to recreate that. So just like in the medical field, specialists in real estate begin to create a pipeline, if you will, of business through their specializing. And that's how you don't have to drive all over town. You just have one spot you focus on and you provide services to them. And of course, everyone else, but that specialization helps you tremendously.
It's huge. And that gives your buyers, your sellers, an extreme amount of confidence on you as a real estate professional, which, by the way, you want to win listing presentations, you need to be confident. 100%. People can smell fakes, they can smell BS. And, you know, it's just going in with all the information, knowing all the players in the market, knowing you have market share in that area, you're good to go, right? Now, I know there's some people on the call right now that may not have market share in an area and that may want to go attack an area. You have to start somewhere, like, again, the poster behind Dan's head over there, execution. Just go for it, okay? Just start knocking on doors, start doing stuff, start getting in front of the community businesses, start posting their stuff out, okay? It's endless. Just do it, right?